Namaskaram. Now, having completed Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, Sankhya Yogam, today we are moving forward with discussion on Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. The whole Bhagavad Gita way of writing the text is so beautiful. This Arjuna Vishada Yogam, which is chapter 1, where all the Vishadam, the sadness, distress of Arjuna was explained, and immediately after that, the Jnanam, knowledge, is what is given by Krishna. The Bhagavan, for a person who is in distress, in sad mood, what he gives is knowledge. But though the chapter is called Sankhya Yogam, the key for knowledge or wisdom, if you look at the slokas, mostly the first 1 to 10 sloka is discussing about Arjuna's the painful heart, and 11th to 30th 20 slokas are dedicated towards the real yoga of knowledge. But then from 31 to 38, it is the duty of a Kshatriya in general and specifically to Arjuna, what he is supposed to do as a Kshatriya, his karma. Therefore, if you look at it thoroughly, 31 to 38 is again Karma Yoga. Though the chapter is called Jnana Yoga, knowing about your action, knowing about your dharma is the actual knowledge. And then, if you are not having sufficient knowledge about the skill which you have, you will not be able to use it at the right place. That is a great management lesson if you look at Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. And then, exactly what is Karma Yoga is again explained from 39 to 53, which 2 days back we have seen. That means 14 slokas are dedicated for Karma Yoga in the Jnana Yoga chapter itself. And again what Bhagavan has done, he marks the stable mind of a person and the glories of a stable minded person. A yogi is what is explained. That marks an introduction for many of the chapters to come. Then, for that, 54 to 72 slokas are dedicated. Now, if you look at Jnana Yogam, in that 22 slokas are closely associated with the Karma Yoga itself. Therefore, this shows the importance of Karma Yoga. And similarly, it is quite natural for a person like Arjun, who is totally in distress, given lot of knowledge, Sankhya Yogam, and also glorified the performance what he is supposed to do, like a warrior, and therefore he is supposed to fight. So natural that a person like Arjuna is totally in confusion. Therefore, what Arjuna really wants, is he looking for engaging in a sort of activity with the material world, and that is what is karma, what he is supposed to do? And what is the method to liberate from all these bindedness, what he explained in the earlier chapter? What is the act that he has to do for the pleasure of the Supreme, like Krishna himself? Without a selfish motive, how can one be liberated from the karma? Without a motive, how can somebody get into karma? Action and reaction, action and result, how these can be attained, and then how the transcendental knowledge, the knowledge of the Supreme Self or the Supreme God, all these confusions is what is the content of the karma yoga. Karma action is basically a physical action, but knowledge is a jnana, which is an intellectual action. Bhakti is a devotional activity, so it is emotional. Devotion is always emotional. So that is where the last part of the Jnana Yoga, where Bhagavan cleared all these and then told him, you have an opportunity in the society. As a Kshatriya, your opportunity has come to you yadrishchikam. Use your skill and ability with a good mood and attitude, with a devotional attitude. The mood has to be totally devotional, surrendering to God with all the logical thinking what you can have. And then get that into the spiritual level, where you do the activity highly meditative. Therefore, what will happen? You get detached from the result of your action. That is what actually Bhagavan drags or brings Arjuna to. So today possibly we will be able to cover the first bunch of 1 to 8 slokas, which talks about the importance of duty in a detached way, highly spiritual. How are you going to do it spiritual? Or here, as I told earlier also, you can look at Bhagavad Gita as a third person. We can look at Bhagavad Gita as a person like Arjuna. So Arjuna's doubt, all of us have got, that whether it is jnana is important or karma is important. Many people keep asking me, when I being in the career counseling and educational counseling, what is that I have to learn to get a job? That means jnanam itself is for doing a job. Here Bhagavan, though he says karma without knowledge is useless, knowledge cannot be leading you towards karma. That knowledge is not the knowledge which gets you the ability to activate your skill in the best style. It is actually a spiritual knowledge, highly devotional knowledge, to understand what is the relevance of your action in the karma, which he is going to explain in the 4th chapter. That is where he says, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, which is the 4th chapter. So, 3rd chapter is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, which is Jnanam. And 3rd chapter is Karma. And 4th chapter is going to be Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So, definitely, here in this third chapter, he has to mix the sannyasa aspect. Then only, see, that is how the Bhagavad Gita structure is. If he is not mixing Jnana Yogam and Karma Yogam in the Jnana Yogam chapter itself, we are not driven to Karma Yoga. Similarly, having done Jnana Yoga and now dealing with the Karma Yoga, and he is stepping towards the Sannyasa Yoga, definitely we can see a lot of things on Sannyasa Yoga. But here you can see in the Karma Yoga itself, in the beginning itself, Bhagavan added a lot of Sannyasa Yoga. Therefore, it is a mix of Jnana Yogam, Karma Yogam, Sannyasa Yogam. Though a specific chapter for Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa Yogam is going to come in the fourth chapter. Third chapter can be seen as an introduction to the Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa Yoga. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. That is how the structure of a chapter is to be made. Now in Karma Yoga, therefore, the first few stanzas are both Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. From 9 to 16, if you bunch them together, you will see what is the necessity of performing an action in the mood of sacrifice. That means he is taking closer to the sannyasa. The tyagam. Tyagam is what is the characteristics of a sannyasi. So for that also the introduction is given in the first bunch itself. And from then onwards, what is the necessity of an action as part of a wise person or part of God himself, or what can be done good for the world as a karma yogi, that is what Bhagavan will be emphasizing. Then he will distinguish wise and unwise and instructions about the performance of action without getting bounded, attracted. How do you get in a detached way? And to get away from detachment, you must get away from the desire. So how to overcome desire will be the last part of Karma Yoga. So here the karma versus jnana as path of action, what is that to be done, is quite confusing to Arjuna, because what is told in the second chapter, if you look at it thoroughly, Bhagavan mixed both karma and jnana and then got him towards the rejection, dejection and detachment, such words, which probably at the level of Arjuna, all of us, as a representative, Arjuna is standing before Bhagavan. So he will have full confusion. So here, let us chant the first bunch of slokas which are related in that context, probably from 1 to 8. The Karma Yoga, chapter number 3. So here, as always, the desire of Bhagavan is to make Arjuna to fight. So you will see how logically Bhagavan is driving Arjuna towards that. Arjuna uvacha jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardhana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshavaha vyamisreneva vakyena buddhim mohaya sivame tadegam vada nischitya येन श्रेयोऽहमप्युनं माप्नुयाम्. श्रीभगवानुवाच लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ. ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनां न कर्मणामनारम्भात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति. निहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्यम कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवश्यः कर्म सर्वप्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य या आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस उच्यते. यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभते अर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते. नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्धेत कर्मणः. This is what Bhagavan is trying to explain as part of karma. Here, the chapter itself starts with the full confusion of Arjuna. What is that Arjuna is asking? Arjuna, in total confusion, after completing the chapter 2, that means 72 slokas, in which most of them, except a few, by Sanjaya or Arjuna, major part of the slokas are by Krishna. Is that not enough to reduce the confusion in Arjuna? Or has it increased Arjuna's confusion? Is he ready to tell Bhagavan that I am confused now? Is it that easy to tell your master? Is it permitted to tell your master, to your guru, that I am confused after all listening from you? If at all, if a student tells that, having explained so thoroughly, what will be the reaction of a master? See, there are a lot of things to learn from this chapter. Having given a minimum lecture, that too Bhagavan directly to his student, the student is again confused. Don't you think a master like a Bhagavan, Krishna, will not get angry to a student saying that why are you asking this again? Have I not told you all that? The chapter 2 itself is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. The essence is told. Is it not enough? Let us see how Krishna is reacting to the questions of Arjuna. Those words, the way he calls, the way Arjuna calls Krishna, the way Krishna is calling Arjuna, all of them are very important to look at it if you wanted to understand it thoroughly. But this is a very generic, probably an introductory description what I am trying to put forth to you. A deep understanding will require looking at it more closer, more thoroughly again and again. The sloka number 1. Arjuna uvacha jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardhana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyo jayasi keshavaha. Arjuna's question is not without love towards Krishna, because the word Keshava is used there. Whenever the word Keshava comes, Kesham is hair. Keshava is a beautiful hair person. Hair is your ego. So that is why people go to Tirupati to remove the hair. Your ego is to be vanished. But again, people will use a topi over that to hide the, the shame of removing. So the whole purpose is lost actually. So Keshava means Krishna with the beautiful hair. This also means the killer of the Daman Kesh. So Keshi. So both can be used. That is with the full of love. It says beautiful Krishna. We can take it like that. What is that? I have confusion. Jayasi chet karmanaste. Which is superior? Which is Jayasi? Jayasi chet, if karmanaste. If you are saying karma is more higher, Mada Buddhir Janardhana. A Janardhana. See, 2 times he called the name. When somebody calls name 2 times in same sloka, that means Arjuna loves him, or it may be to get his favor. He knows that it is not right to ask question, so let me call him 2 times so that he will become close to me. That could also be the reason. Mata, consider. Buddhi, you think. See, Arjuna is now asking Krishna to think, or I am not able to think. Both can be seen. He who knows everything, that is why he is asking Krishna. So, because you know everything, Janardhana means who knows the whole thing in the world. You are a person who knows everything in the world. So, please Krishna, if Karma Yoga is higher, Tatkim Karmani Gorema. If that is what, that Tatkim, then why Karmani, action, is Ghoram? If that is the highest activity which I am supposed to do, how it can be Ghoram? How it can be a terrible action? Terrible thing can never be greater, right? Then why are you asking me to do a terrible thing? So, is it that actions are terrible for me? And you say that that is the greatest thing which I can do? Niyojayasi Keshavaha. Do you want me to engage, or do you engage me in that action which is Ghoram, which is actually terrible? So, if you consider knowledge is superior to action, why do you ask me to do this action which is horrible? See, earlier whole lecture was on knowledge. Knowledge is higher or action is higher? If action is not that higher, knowledge is higher as per the first chapter, why are you asking me again to do karma which is horrible, which is actually terrible, making pain to many people? Arjuna uvacha Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardhana tatkim karmani ghorema niyo jayasi keshavaha. So now, verse number 2. Vyamisreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasi vame tadekam vada nischitya yena sreyohamapyunam. Vamisreneva vakyena. Vamisrene eva vakyena. Oh, you look like told me. It seems. I am not sure. Is it that you told like this from your vakyam? Vamisrene, did you apparently, clearly, unambiguous, or with a little ambiguity, did you tell that? So Arjuna is not telling Krishna that Arjuna is not clear. He is asking Krishna. See, the doubt is not asked directly. He is asking, did you firmly said, or did you use some ambiguity in that words? It looks like you explained, but is it? See, when you don't want to ask a question, scaring that whether your guru will get scold you, you are not putting forth straight away with a doubt. So, Eva looks like. And same word is repeated again. You will see. Buddhim mohaya sivame. Buddhim mohaya, the intellect, moha, with all the moha, with all that confusion in. Eva, again, Eva is used. As it is told, is it were, was it like this that you told? That is how Arjuna is asking the question. Buddhim mohaya eva sivame. Is it like that which you asked? I am not very clear. I got confused. Tadegam vada nischitya. Therefore, because I felt that you did not firmly said that I have to do action, I think that you told that knowledge is more important. And then also you told the sannyasam is more important. Detachment is more important. Don't get binded. So many things you told. Vami sreneva vakyena buddhim mohaya sivame. Tadegam vada nischitya. Tad egam veda. Vada, as you can distinctly understand and firmly, decisively, nischitya, decisively, with confirmation, why can't you tell me? What? Ena sreyoha mapyunam. By which the highest, the best, the supreme good will happen. Is it with the jnanam or is it with the karma? Sreyoha mapyunam. Aham, me. For me, whether I will be able to attain that sreyam, that great position with one path. Don't confuse me. You have to do this, you have to do this. You have to go this way, you have to go that way. See, when a student goes to a master, when a disciple comes to a guru, the guru is not supposed to tell, as per Shankaracharya, this is like this, as per Nitya Chaitanya, this is like this, as per Chinmaya Swami, this is like this. Now, this is how Bhagavad Gita is told by 3 different people. See, if that is the case, you could listen to their lectures on video. You are listening to Dr. TPS to listen what Dr. TPS is talking about Bhagavad Gita. See, my job is not probably I will listen or I will hear or I will learn everything, as you can also do it. But then I understand them in my style, and from that style what I understood or that knowledge which I got it from those, I will make my interpretation, my association, my assessment, and then tell. See, when you go with a problem to somebody, you cannot tell that this person said like this, that person said like this, you decide what you wanted to learn. That is not the idea. Tell me one path, firmly, without confusion. Don't tell me karma is good, yoga is good, no. I don't want all that. But having told all this, again, Krishna at the end also says, you decide what you want. It is not a counseling guru, a person who knows how to drag people to highest level, suggest what the student is supposed to do. Let him be confused. The idea of a master is not to solve a problem by the student. Not to solve a problem by the student. The idea of the master is always to make the student able to solve the problem. So that any problem tomorrow which he is going to face, he will be able to solve. That is the best master's ability. It is not, I keep saying all the time, I don't teach maths, physics, chemistry, biology. I only teach my students how to learn so that he can learn any subject. I am not trying to teach somebody how to drive cycle in each route. I will only teach them cycling so that they can drive in whichever route they want. These are all basic lessons which I learned from Bhagavad Gita. Here, this is the greatest example. The student always want a direct answer. For this question, give me this answer. That's what every student, starting from Arjuna as a student who asked Krishna. But Krishna is not a person. He is not a master. He is a master of master. He is not going to give direct answer to Arjuna. He will only make Arjuna eligible, capable of taking decisions by himself. So, here Arjuna is directly asking, without ambiguity, without telling two options, tell me what exactly I am supposed to do. Vyamisreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tategam vada nischitya yena sreyohamapyunam. Now, Bhagavan says, what is that Bhagavan says now? Now, this state of confusion when a student has, what is that master's job? Is it to drag him directly to action or teach him sufficiently enough? Because earlier itself in chapter 2, sufficiently he explained all this. Swadharmam abhicha vechya, that sloka. Kshatriyasya na vidyate. You cannot get rid of doing action, is already said. Yadruchaya chopavannam. You got this chance to fight. Yadruchaya. By chance you got it. Labhante yuddham idrisham. This is what you got. So raise the chance of the war is come to you. Now start. This is a very rare chance. Therefore, what you should do? Raise and start fighting. Already he said. And then you will get to paradise. Having said this, again Arjuna has a confusion. Is it that he is supposed to do action or jnana is important? That's what. Now here, Krishna, after jnana, after karma, the sannyasa moksha part is also covered in second chapter. That's why he said second chapter is the gist. First jnanam is told up to 30. From then onwards up to 54, full of karma. And from 54 to 72, again full of sannyasa yogam is told. So moksha sannyasa yogam is already covered. 18 chapters is covered in second chapter. But that is a gist. Now Krishna gets an opportunity because of the question from the student Arjuna to explain it much further. That is how it has to happen. The gist has to be told so that the student's interest is understood. Then the questions will come from the student. So what is that Bhagavan says here? Again he says, Logesmin divida nishtha pura prokta maya nakha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. Logesmin divida nishtha. Don't confuse me with options, he said. But again Krishna is telling everyone, those who are having this blessing to listen from me, directly I am not going to tell you this. Divida nishtha. Two types of nishtha is there. Two types of faith. Pura prokta maya nakha. Ye, my son, maya nakha. Anakha. Anakha means a innocent fellow. Without any sin. Without any mistake. See, it is not your mistake that you did not understand perfectly. That is what a teacher is supposed to tell the student. He could have scolded, why are you asking me again this stupid question? I already told you what is jnanam, what is karmam, what is moksham. No, he didn't tell. The way he is calling Arjuna, Anakha, a sinless fellow, innocent person, my poor boy, my good child, you could not understand, na? Pura prokta maya nakha. I explained to you previously, my son. It is not that I did not explain. What did I explain? Lokesmin divita nishtha. two types of paths people will take. Which are the two types? Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. Two types of path. Jnana yogena sankhyanam. Sankhyanam, with all that logical thinking, contemplating on this, thinking about it, pondering inside that Jnana Yoga. Not just superficial learning. Getting deep inside Jnana Yogam, people do. One. Karma Yogena Yogina. Through the activity, Karma Yoga, people get into a Yoga Avastha. What is that yoga through karma? Without result, doing action is karma yoga. There are two types of path which generally people will take. Previously also I told you, my son. That means again he is not telling what he is supposed to do. Again there are options. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Logesmin Divita Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nakha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Two types of activities people do. One path of knowledge. As previously explained, you have both options. Now, from now to nearly 16 slokas, up to 19th sloka, it is all intellectual action. Here, there are two paths. One is Jnanam and one is Karma. But Krishna doesn't want that. You need with Jnanam, Karma. Generally, people take two different paths. But Krishna is trying to say they are not two different paths. They are one and the same. And getting inside that and understanding that and then activating that with a detachment. That means karma, jnana, sannyasam. That is what is essential. So from here onwards, the fourth chapter, next chapter's introduction started. Na karmana manarambha, naishkarmyam purushosnute, na cha sannyasana deva, siddhim samadhigaschati. Na karmana manarambha. No karma, no actions, anarambha, can be performed, or by abstaining from karma, nobody can stay. Na karmana manarambha. Nobody can stay without doing any job. Anarambhat. Without doing a job, no people can stay. Na karmana manarambhat. Naishkarmyam purushosnute. And how can you be free from your karma? So you are supposed to do your karma. You cannot get rid of your karma. You are supposed to be in action always, because that is what you are supposed to do. Because already Arjuna has kept his bow and arrow down. And he said, I am not able to hold my bow. It is sweating. My lips are dried up. My cheeks are reddish. I am shivering. I will not be able to stand. His bow and arrow is already down. So I cannot work. So what is that you want to do without work? Generally people say, without work you want to become a sannyasi. That's what Krishna is also saying. Probably what Krishna told Arjuna, because he don't want to do job, do you want to become a sannyasi, was the question Krishna asked. The same question we are continuing. Because here that's what he is asking. Nacha sannyasana deva. See, thinking that keeping this and then say that I don't want to do job, you can become a sannyasi. Siddhim samadhigaschati. You can get into the samadhi avastha. You can attain that superior power. You can get that moksham. Atma Rama Swarupam. You cannot. Why you cannot? See, you can keep your bow and arrow down and say, I don't want to fight. But in what state you have done it? With the sadness. with dukkham, with distress. A sannyasi gets out of his action, he is relieved from his all the duty, homely duty, even sometimes the societal duty. Nothing they will do, they will close their eyes and then sit. They are called monk. Hey Arjuna, you cannot be a monk. You know why? You got detached from your work saying, I am distressed, I am confused, I am not able to decide what to do and all that. In that case, you cannot get into that. See, you get detached from your activity with full happiness, with freedom. You are not free from all this. See, you can get rid of your family and then go to sannyasam. But being in sannyasam, you keep on thinking about your family, then you are not qualified for that. That is the problem. Therefore, what will happen? You will fail there also. So, attain the perfection in the knowledge is not enough to become a sannyasi. That is only a physical renunciation from all your karma. So, Sankhya and karma is not good enough to lead you to the sannyasam. The sannyasam is a different level of, higher level where you have to reach slowly. So, you are not qualified for not being in action. Hey Arjuna, you have only one way. Directly he is saying, with all the knowledge, getting into sannyasam is not possible for you. Na karmana manarambha naishkarmyam purushosnude nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhigaschati. Only very few people who can reach into that siddhi avastha, only such people, and you are not in that grade. Arjuna, directly Krishna is shooting that option out from Arjuna. Right? So what is the next option? He is taking Arjuna towards action, discarding all other options what probably he must be thinking. All of us will think. When we want to run away from some action, we keep finding some reason and we say that I don't want to do it, let me become a monk. Many people get into bhakti or spirituality, running away, it becomes another exception for life. Running away from your life, running away from your duty. That is not spiritual activity, social activity is not running away from your job. You cannot take a social activity and a spiritual activity as a job. It has to come from you. It has to grow inside you. Okay, today I don't have anything to do, so let me do some. No, that is not. Because you don't have anything to do, you don't become a monk. The monk is not one who doesn't have anything else to do. It is not the last option for somebody else in his life. It is not after retirement from something, somebody, oh, let me do this sometime. No, that has to come within you. Once it comes, that becomes a highly sreya for you. That becomes sreyas for you. So, Bhagavan is dragging Arjuna. You want to be a sannyasi, yogavastha. Do your action in yogavastha. Don't stop your action in yogavastha and think that the becoming a yogi is a different activity. No. Becoming a yogi in the karma level is the best yoga activity. That's what Bhagavan is trying to drag him. So you cannot be without action. What action? Your action for which you are appointed. As what is your Kudumba Dharmam? What is your Kula Dharmam? What is that you have learned? For what you have practiced? What education you got? What skill you have? What society demands from you? That is what you are supposed to do. Nehi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat karma krita karyate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. Nehi kaschit kshanamapi. Not even a single moment a fraction of a second. Nehi kaschit kshanamapi. Not even a moment. What doesn't happen? Jatu tishtat karmakrit. Every creature in this, creation in this world, every living being in this world cannot live in this world without a karmakrit, without action. Jatu tishtatya karmakrit. Without any action, nobody is in this world. If somebody who is in Garhasthyam is trying to meditate, the word trying is consciously used. Trying to meditate, they may close their eyes and then start thinking. That thinking itself is a work. So without thought, you are not there. You are pretending that you are meditating. Thousands and thousands of people whom I have come across, they all say that I learned meditation, I am meditating. It's stupid waste of time, because you cannot have a time tag. They say I meditate 20 minutes. I am going for meditation. There is nothing called going for meditation. I am a disciple of Himalayan master. Mahamandaleshwar Swami Vedabharati is my guru. I am a Himalayan meditation master by myself. Having my guru is not existing now in the world. So, he always propagates meditation in action. When you are doing a job, do it meditatively. It is not crossing your legs and then closing your eyes and taking a deep breath, regulated breath in whatever style some XYZ taught you, and then you say, I am meditating. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. That samadhi level, when you reach, your thoughts will not be there. We learned prana bandhanat liyate mana in Ramana Maharshi's. When we learned Ramana Maharshi, we learned that. So, that level you don't reach. Arjuna, you have not reached there. If you have reached there, where is distress, Arjuna, in front of me? You will not have. Karpanya doshopa hadasvabhava. I am not able to decide is the state. You will not be in distress. Therefore, I don't want to fight is what you said. You are saying in front of me, these people are there. Therefore, I don't want to fight. See, this confusion you have, that means you have not reached that level. Your thoughts are inside you. Therefore, you cannot be in inaction. You have to be in action. Inaction is not what I can prescribe you. Karyate hyavasha karma. You are a person who has taken birth. Definitely you will have to work. You cannot without performing your duty. You will become helpless. That state will come to you. Right? All that certainly you are supposed to do karma. Without karma, you cannot stay in this world. Karyadehyavasha karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. That is the quality of the nature of everyone. Either you are in physical action or in mental action, or your manas will start going to different things because you are in the material nature with all the sensory organs and you have all the three gunas. So, the Prakriti Jair Guna, you have all the Prakriti Guna that you are born like that. Therefore, no other option other than doing karma. Nehi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karyate hyavasha karma sarva prakriti jair gunai. Everybody at every moment keeps working and you also have no option to keep quiet. Now, the sixth one. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manase smaran indriyarthan vibudhatma midhyacharasa uchyate. Karmendriyani samyamya. All my karmendriya, all my sensory organs, samyamya, restrain your karmendriya, restrain it. Don't leave it free. Physically, you become inactive. All the sensory organs you close. Ya aste manasasmaran. Your manas becomes active even then. Indriyas can be closed. Physically, you can become inactive. Ya aste manasasmaran. You will start thinking in the memory. Manas, old memories will come. The inner conflict will happen because of that. Because internally you are not idle. Internally you are working more. Indriyarthan vimudhatma. You are pretending, you are closing your sensory organs. Indriyarthan, all the indriya requirements, you are closing it like a vimudhatma. It is not, naturally it is not happening to you. You have not gone to that level. Mithyachara. You will become a Mithyacharan. What is that Mithyacharan? A hypocrite. For which you become a plaster saint. You will become a plaster saint. You will act like a saint. He is called a plaster saint. You will become a plaster saint. The Mithyacharasa Uchyate. And you will be called by that name by everyone. You have no escape. See, you will close your eyes and say, I am meditating. You are a plaster saint. You are not got into that sainthood. Samadhi is only at that level when you reach at the highest level in the yoga. Without reaching there, if you do it, you are pretending. See, Krishna is directly hitting. Again, he will hit you at 6th chapter. If you have learned Bhagavad Gita thoroughly, you know how much mistakes the society is doing in this. Karmendriyani samyamya. Ya aste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma midhyachara sa uchyate. Now, the 7th sloka. Yastindriyani manasa niyamyarabhade arjuna. Niyamyarabhade arjuna karmendriyaihi karmayogam asakta sa Vishishyate. Yastindriyani manasa. That indriya, that sensory organs, by the mind, with the manas, niyamyarambhade Arjuna. Assume that you are trying to control that as Arjuna. If you wanted to control it, what will happen? Karmendriyaihi karmayogam. The indriyas are actually working in the karma yoga. The physical karma may not be happening, but you are closing your eyes, but still you are seeing many things in your life. You don't want to fight with your guru, but even if you close and then get out of this war field, what will happen? You will start thinking about, oh, I should have fought. Because you cannot get rid of that thought process. Asaktaha sa vishishyate. Without attachment, asaktaha sa de vishishyate. You become superior. What is the purpose? Without attachment, you become staying there, and that activity without attachment when you do is much better than not doing and having attachment. See, you have to raise to that level where you can do karma without attachment instead of running away from the karma and still getting attached. Because you have not matured to get detached from your karma and then getting into sannyasa. That option is not possible for you because you are not got into that. So what does it mean? Directly Krishna is asking, Bhagavan is asking Arjuna, therefore fight. That's where he is bringing. The knowledge senses of you can be closed. Your indriyas can be closed. But what happened to the mind? You cannot. Therefore, the best thing is get into the work without attachment, for which we will train you. I will give you sufficient knowledge. That knowledge is what you want. Therefore, what is required? It is not knowledge path separate and karma path separate. The knowledge with karma will lead you to sannyasa. What does it mean? Assume you are not having sufficient skill to work and then you wanted to get into sannyasa. That is stupid and foolish. Do your work with full skill so that you don't have to use your buddhi. It becomes so casual. Like your breath. When you are breathing, you are not aware of your breath. You don't have to know that you are breathing. Your reading has to happen in such a fashion, you don't even have to know that you are reading. You have to sing a song, you don't have to think the verses. What does it mean? You have to learn them that easily. So that learning will make your action so simply, casually meditative. If you don't know how to make dosha, and you put your effort, buddhi inside that and make dosha, you will have to see whether it is round. But if you have the skill and knowledge of making dosha, and 100% it will become round, even if you talk somewhere, you look somewhere, speak, do something else, still you can make it into a round, then you are in a meditative style in making dosha. Because you are not taxed, your buddhi is not in use. Will you be able to do every job in that style? When you are driving, if you are a new driver, you need to use your buddhi. And somebody talk inside your car, you will say, keep quiet, I am driving, don't disturb me. But if you are an expert driver, driving becomes so casual to you, you are not getting taxed by driving, you enjoy driving, driving becomes a casual thing. You don't have to worry and you can put a tabla on your steering. That means your driving is meditative. So such place, that is what you should do. Karmendriyai karma yogam asaktaha savishishyade. Then that karma will become vishishya karma for you, superior karma for you. So what is important? What is superior? Whether jnana is superior or karma is superior. Definitely karma is superior. Only when you do it devotionally, attached, meditatively. Yastriyandyani manasa niyamyarabhade arjuna karmendriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate. Now the 8th sloka. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hyakarmanaha sharira yatra api cha te na prasidhyeda karmanaha. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Therefore, perform your action niyatam, constantly, every time, without break. Karmajyoho hyakarmanaha, as which is the jayo. Karma is the superior one. Hyakarmanaha, that inaction is not, akarmanaha is not certainly a superior job. Compared to karma or akarma, which is superior? Karma is superior. Sharira yatrapi, your body will not be able to, your body will not be able to sustain if you don't do karma. Who will give you food? Okay, I don't want to do karma. Then who are you? You are not a kshatriya, you are not a warrior, you are not part of the kingdom. What? How do you do? You will have to do some job. And being a kshatriya, trained in all this, you want to do some other job. See, you are a trained person in some action. You want to do something else and then live. Without karma, can you sit? Who will feed you? Are you going to beg? Will somebody will give you alms? Somebody will gift you something when you are not doing your job. Sharira yatra abhijate. How are you going to survive, beta? Who is going to feed you? Your bodily maintenance, your physical maintenance require money. For that, who is going to pay? What is that you are thinking? Krishna is asking Arjuna as if every one of us have to understand this. Without action, you cannot stay. Who will feed us? You cannot be a beggar on the road. Arjuna says, do your action. Don't beg like this. You will become a beggar. That is not correct. You should do your job. na prasiddhe the karmana. You are become na prasiddhi. You will lose your everything. It will not be possible for you without staying, without action. You cannot stay in this world. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra api cha te na prasiddhe the karmanaha. This is what Bhagavan says. So we'll see tomorrow the rest of the slokas, which actually takes you to the what is necessary to perform the sacrifices